So I calculated, right? So last night I was doing some maths. Because I was
Vedic
like,
maths.
huh?
Vedic maths or regular maths?
Vedic regular Vedic maths.
Acha.
Right? Uh, and I realized that I think Man City can earn on 88 points,
Huh.
right? So I think Guardiola is trying to make it tough for himself. And he's like, chalo, I'm not going to touch 90 points also.
Yeah.
Agar you guys can touch me, you win it,
Yeah.
right? So you don't have to beat me. You just touch 90 points. How you touch it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think Guardiola is going to win everything else from now on. He's going to touch to the 88 points,
Yeah.
right? He's made it as simple a calculation as who are the four title contenders.
Yeah.
There's Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Nottingham Forest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's like, अगर दम है तो touch 90 touch करके दिखा.
Happy New Year, Mukesh. We are recording on New Year's Eve, and the episode will be out on New Year's Eve. And then they can listen to it or watch it throughout the new year. So
Yeah.
we're bringing it in. How's it going?
It's going good. Last night was a good game of football to watch.
Yes.
It was thoroughly enjoyable. Despite my fears of a West Ham Bull sort of situation, I was scared of a second half shock comeback because of a Liverpool complacency. That did not happen. So that was completely joyous to see. It was a great Eve, New Year's Eve.
Nice, lovely. I can't say the same about my team, but there's nothing new in that. That is the regular programming for us. But we'll get to that. Let's start off with Man City, man, because on Boxing Day they couldn't get past Akarsh's Everton, uh, holding them to a 1-1 draw. And now they've finally got their victory, beating Leicester 2-0. Erling Haaland getting on the score sheet. Always has to happen after I take Erling Haaland out of my FPL after being frustrated with him. So obviously he had to score. And on that, we'll have a separate segment later on in the episode. We'll get to that. But Man City are back. Do you think Man City are back, or is it just because it's Leicester?
I think they're back. I think I said this last episode also, which is that their run of 20 games. So I calculated, right? So last night I was doing some maths. Because I was like,
Vedic maths.
huh?
Vedic maths or regular maths?
Vedic regular Vedic maths.
Acha.
Right? Uh, and I realized that I think Man City can earn on 88 points,
Huh.
right? So I think Guardiola is trying to make it tough for himself. And he's like, chalo, I'm not going to touch 90 points also.
Yeah.
Agar you guys can touch me, you win it, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to beat me. You just touch 90 points. How you touch it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
I think Guardiola is going to win everything else from now on. He's going to touch to the 88 points,
Yeah.
right? He's made it as simple a calculation as who are the four title contenders. There's
Yeah.
Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, अगर दम है तो touch 90 touch करके दिखा. And so I think this is the beginning. I think till now he was just like, because he just lost, right? He was like, he just lost every game. He told his team, relax.
Yeah.
There's no point of winning. Well, how can we be the winner? So I have a feeling they're going to win. I feel like this is their comeback, their resurgence. And also,
Yeah.
it pains me that they're still fifth. Despite some 12 games and of playing badly, they're still fifth, man. That's pretty high. Like,
Yeah.
how are you not
Yeah.
punished further? I remember there were days when Liverpool would lose, like, I don't know, out of a potential 9 points, they'd get 4, and then they'd be like, Liverpool's season is over. They are out of contention for Europe. And
Yeah.
here it's like you can lose 12 games and somehow they're still in contention for Europe and winning the league. Very sad. Sad state of
Well,
affairs.
it is. I mean, again, like a United fan, when we play badly, we are 13th in the league. Like not even in the top half. Like for us, Conference League qualification seems like, oh fuck, man. Maybe we should try and qualify for Conference League at least. But let's go back to the Boxing Day fixture, because the one talking point of that was the Erling Haaland penalty miss. Matlab Jordan Pickford. I think what Jordan Pickford, forget what he saw on his bottle, because keepers now have their water bottles with all the cheat codes for all the penalty takers. Kaun kidhar shoot karega. But forget that. I feel like it was his facial expressions that put Haaland off.
Yeah. He's like, who's this guy? Scarier than me. Who's this
Yeah.
guy? Weirder than me.
I mean, surely, like, with how the IFAB or FIFA or any governing body for football basically loves to fuck goalkeepers over in penalty situations. Matlab, you can't come off your line. You can't come up to the striker. You'll get a yellow card if you try and get into his head. You can't do any of the antics. Whereas strikers are allowed to take like 5 hours to do a run up and then shoot. They're allowed to do the hop, skip, and jump. They're allowed to do multiple
Yeah.
false run-ups and non-false run-ups or whatever. They're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want in that penalty situation. I want to know like how soon will IFAB or FIFA or any governing body be like, no, you can't even make faces. You cannot get your tongue out when you're a goalkeeper defending a penalty. To actually, you know what? Fuck it. You can't even watch the ball. To blindfold penega, like make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, he has to run along with the striker himself and then save it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I feel like is
You
a fair ask.
Yeah, I feel like the new thing is going to be the goalkeeper has to stand at the corner flag. Hey, plug for the podcast.
Hey, plug in.
Hey. You have to stand at the corner flag, and as soon as the striker starts his run up, the goalkeeper has to start sprinting. And if he makes it to the goal in time to save the penalty, then it's a goal. Like then it's not a goal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. In terms of IFAB or FIFA, then it is still a goal.
Yeah.
So I think that might be the way that they go about it. But in this game against Leicester, Mukesh, Erling Haaland did get a goal.
Erling Haaland finally got a goal, and his drought run is over.
Yeah.
His comparisons with Nunez and Haaland is over, which was quite sad actually. I quite enjoyed.
Don't put Haaland in the same breath as Haaland.
Who's that insult? Who's that an insult to?
One is an accomplished international striker who regularly carries his team on good days and bads, and the other is Erling Haaland.
That's true. I like how even in this joke scenario, you didn't try to defend Nunez, which is fair. I agree.
Yeah.
But
There is no defending Nunez. There is only defending against Nunez
Nunez.
that any defender can do.
yeah. And Savino scored finally, and he's dedicated to his
Yes.
baby, who could be. We don't know whether she's just pregnant, if the baby's born, if the baby's 2 years
Yeah.
old, because he
Yeah.
hasn't scored in 13 games, 18
I mean,
games. I think he hasn't scored since he's come.
he,
Actually, he's not scored for
he
half.
scored. He scored 9 months ago. I think that's the only scoring that he cares about. Maybe he scored after that as well with wife, with mistress. Who knows?
Oh, I
I
thought
don't
that's
know.
what you meant. That's the only scoring he did, which was
Yeah,
scoring with the wife.
yeah. But Savino, or as I like to call him, Riyad Mahrez Jr. Same shirt number, same body type, same play. But he looks like a very, very good player. He got the first goal, got the assist for Haaland's goal as well. So he looks like a very good player, much better than Jack Grealish.
Who hasn't scored in 1 year? Now,
Yeah, but nobody talks about that. No,
Yeah,
have you
no one
noticed how
talks.
nobody's talking about that? Have you noticed how everybody talks about, oh, what is Marcus Rashford doing? He's not in form for club or country. He's constantly being dropped by Amorim now. How many chances should Marcus Rashford get? Maybe it's time to sell Marcus Rashford. Jack Grealish के बारे में कोई बोल ही नहीं रहा है. Phil Foden के बारे में कोई बोल ही नहीं रहा है.
Yeah. Jack Grealish, I think people forget also it was 100 million, I think 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like, I'm saying 100 million is cheap now. It's still not a bargain.
Yeah.
But 100 million 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's not scored in the last 1 year, 12 months. In the year of 2024, he's not scored a single goal.
I feel like Jack Grealish feels this is still pre-season after the treble.
I think he's still hungover, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the problem was the treble was too good. Like,
Yeah.
the minute you win the treble, right, you need to flush out all the players. Everyone should have
Yeah.
left,
Yeah.
including Guardiola.
Absolutely. But in terms of like what Guardiola does from now, right? Like we know that he is somebody who does not stick around at a club for too long, and I feel like he's been at Man City for the longest in his entire career. He wasn't at a club, even at Barcelona. I don't think he was at Barcelona for as long as he's at
He's
Man
4
City.
years, 5 years at
So,
Barcelona, yeah.
so what is it like? What is it about City? Are they holding a gun to his head and saying "Tu nahi niklega"? Like he desperately wanted to leave, but he just wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, I think that they have no successor in mind, correct?
Yeah.
Because there is really no successor to Guardiola. There is nobody
Yeah.
who can guarantee that sort of. There is nobody who can guarantee that sort of success.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the problem with Guardiola right now, he's struggling. Is like, shit, I'm too good. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm too good. It's like for performers, are like encore, encore, encore. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, enough. I want to go
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
He's like stuck.
Yeah. Like my family hasn't seen me in 5 years. Like,
They're like,
like,
one more, please, yay! It's like, they're like kids who never get tired of jokes. They're like, one more, one more.
yeah.
And they're like, please, let me go. And
But as rival fans, okay, now as rival fans, let's have this discussion because it is quite interesting. Which is that, see, when Guardiola came to Man City, fuck it, let's go pre Guardiola also. When Man City were taken over, that was also in an age where financial fair play wasn't as strict, or the profit and loss system wasn't as strict as it is in the Premier League now, which is why we haven't seen the same sort of transformation immediately for, let's say, a Newcastle United, where we all thought that, oh, now that Newcastle have Saudi money, even they're going to get like big name transfers, and suddenly like it's going to change. But that has not happened. It may happen in the future, but it hasn't been an immediate impact. Like, I remember one of the statement signings that Man City made when they were taken over was Robinho.
yeah,
Who, so that level of influx of money that Man City had, everybody else in the Premier League, all of the other rival fans, etc., were like, oh fuck, these guys are going to be absolute challengers. And then, of course, in whatever 2017, I think it was their first one, the QPR Aguero one. Was it 2017, 2015, whatever it was? No, 2012. Sorry, it was
2012
2012.
is when.
2012. That is when they eventually won the Premier League for the first time. But when they got Guardiola, that was when everybody was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
like, now they are proper, regular title contenders.
yeah, yeah.
And Guardiola's first season wasn't great. Like, he did have a little bit of a bedding in period, and everybody was like, you can't do it in the Premier League. All of that was happening, but he has made it his league. Like, he has dominated this league
He
for a
kind of
very
made it
long
his
time.
bitch.
He's made it his bitch,
Put it,
exactly.
to put it
So what happened?
politely.
So what happens after? Because he is not going to stay at Man City for too long, right? Like, he's got the extension, but I don't think he's going to get another extension. 1, maybe 2 years max of Guardiola at Man City is what we will get. They've already moved on from Tiki Bergestein, who was their sporting director, who was very close to Guardiola, and the whole thing about getting him and that backroom staff that was used to Guardiola set up before Guardiola came was a really well planned move. Now that that is on its way out, the sporting director is gone. Guardiola will not be at Man City for too long anymore. Where does this club go from here? Like, they have
Down.
achieved
Just
peak success.
down.
Are you saying that they are going to go down like
Yeah, because
like
I
a like
also
a
feel
Man
like
United?
the rise of City coincided. See, there is a space for about four good teams at any given point of time, right? 4, 5 good teams. You can't have. I don't know, have you ever seen 6, 7 genuine title contenders? No, it's either
Yeah,
one team runs away with it, or it's a two-horse race, or three. Right, three is the highest, and it's four for some time.
yeah,
Right, I think the
yeah,
rise of City also coincided with the fall of United. So then you're like, okay, they clearly took someone's place. On the other
yeah,
hand, for someone like Newcastle to come, someone traditionally good has to fall. Right
yeah,
now, I thought that
yeah,
was going to be Liverpool post Klopp. That
yeah.
for a change, it'll be nice for United and Liverpool to be chilling, which I think still will happen at some point. Uh,
Hmm.
where United and Liverpool are being like 10th and 12th and 12th and 13th, and that's the rivalry we'll be a part of.
The battle of mid-table.
Battle of mid-table, right?
Who gets into single-digit table places?
It's like, yeah, exactly. That's the battle. Now, I think in terms of where City go from here, I think because the appeal for many players is no one comes to City for money yet, unless you're Jack Grealish, right? People
Yeah,
come to play under Guardiola. But
yeah,
once Guardiola goes, and there has been no manager who's really announced himself in the pub world scene like a Mourinho or a Guardiola yet. Maybe that'll take
yeah,
another 3, 4 years.
yeah,
They're not going to be able to poach. There's no one to poach, and I
yeah,
think that's sort of what they're holding. That's the reason why they're holding Guardiola hostage. Is that until some Guardiola type figure or a Mourinho type figure announces
Yeah,
himself on the world stage that I have come, I have done this, I can achieve this with these and these teams, and it could have been last year. It was started to be Jabi Alonso, but we don't know how he's going to perform it. But this season, clearly at the league level, he's not performing as well again.
yeah,
And Champions League, we're yet to see what's going to happen. Correct.
yeah,
So I think they're going to literally hold him until there's going to be a another uh, Guardiola type figure. Now, on the other
yeah,
hand, to outsmart this, I think Guardiola is like, yeah, let me play shit.
yeah,
I will be shit or you let me go. I will burn this team to the ground. I will play
yeah,
four central defenders. I will play 4-4-2 football. No one will be attracted to this football. And I will be shit or you let me go. So I think it's a
yeah,
battle of will there be a next Guardiola or will the current Guardiola just burn City to the ground himself?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whichever one happens faster, I think will be the way forward for City.
yeah.
And I hope it's
Uh,
Guardiola burning City to the ground.
yeah. Much like Nero burnt down Rome, Guardiola might burn down Man City. On the other side of Manchester, Man United are not going through a great period at all. After the 4-0 victory over Everton, which feels like fucking ages ago, Amorim said that the storm will come and this team will get found out at times. And the storm has well and truly arrived. It has been raining on our hopes and dreams. The latest one, of course, I mean, in the Carabao Cup, losing to Spurs was one thing, but also on Boxing Day, losing against Wolves 2-0 was just, I mean, Matheus Cunha scoring directly from a corner, which is the same thing that Heung-min Son did in the Carabao Cup fixture. Like, that's just what is it according to you, Muki, that United are not doing right?
I think I think they are not able to figure out corners because everyone's like just not you're caught ball watching. I think they're just like fuck, I'm not gonna touch the ball, it's not on me. They're not taking responsibility. I think it's a clear case of a mindset issue. I think as long as you can clearly tell that like they're either afraid, it's that fear of failure
Yeah.
and getting lashed out. We saw Harry Maguire have it during the worst phase between I think 20 to 22,
Hmm.
which I think is now probably suffering for the whole team. And then it's just confusion. It's clearly a lack of communication between the 10 people, or whatever, the 10 people in the box.
Yeah.
Because I think I've always seen Haaland slightly outside, so I'm guessing it's the 10 in the box. Are just absolutely confused.
No, it's 10 in the box also because Bruno Fernandes got a silly fucking second yellow, so he was sent off. So
Yeah, so it
yeah,
was. Yeah, I think it's a clear communication issue.
yeah,
These are just 10 different units playing.
yeah,
They're clearly not a team. It's so evidently they're not a team playing together.
yeah.
Um,
So I mean, on that note, I feel like the one excuse that you can give Man United, especially in this new Amorim era, is that these players are playing a completely different system. They were used to playing 4-2-3-1 or a slightly more compact 4-3-3 under Eric Ten Hag, and now they are playing three at the back. So it is completely a different formation. You're relying on wing backs to provide the width. You're playing with two number 10s and two holding midfielders and one striker, which is completely different from the system that they were playing earlier. And Amorim has come in the middle of the season when the team has already been in a very bad place, and he keeps talking about how he's not had enough time to train with the players or whatever. But he is so adamant about his way of playing. Every time he's asked this question, he's had the same answer to give, which is that I believe in my way, and I believe in my way. There's no other way. If I believe so strongly in my way from day one, then even the players, they will start to believe, and that's when we will make progress. And all that is well and good, and of course all the narrative from the United fan groups or whatever at this stage at least is, look at how inspiring this guy is, this is exactly what we need, etc., etc., etc. My worry is that is very close to what Ange Postecoglou is doing at Spurs,
no, no, okay.
right?
No, I think
I'll tell you why. Because Ange Postecoglou at Spurs, the biggest criticism that Postecoglou has been getting at Spurs is, yes, you play a very entertaining brand of football. Yes, you play very high pressing, high octane, high line football. But that leaves you with so many gaps at the back, especially when your defense is not as solid as it should be. Right? The minute Mickey Van de Ven is not available for you as your fastest centre half, you are so prone to being hit on the break, and that has been Spurs' downfall in every match that they have lost points in this season. Right, that it is very easy to figure them out. But Postecoglou does not want to change. He does not want to give up on that idea. And the big criticism is you have to be able to manage games. You have to be able to turn and adapt and play to the situation. Is that what Amorim is doing? Is that the
Okay,
same thing?
so here is where I will defend Amorim bit.
Good.
Not that I'm fully aware of what exactly his style is for, but like we'll be able to see it in full form with the 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 that he
Yeah.
plans to play in the
Yeah.
future. I think one is, of course, what Amorim is not. These are none of. He has not been able to order on Blinkit yet. He's the
Yeah.
guy who's come. He's figured. He has whatever that. There's like a
Yeah.
hostel mess with like a hostel kids mess. There's like kal kam, like 5 din ka Maggie or
Yeah.
1 month old eggs. So he's doing the best he can with whatever there is.
Yeah.
Postecoglou, on the other hand, he's like, I will fucking make Maggie, fried Maggie every day. And
Yeah.
you eat it. I don't care if you have diarrhea. I don't care if you're sick and you just
Yeah.
want dal chawal. He's like,
Yeah.
I will make this. He's choosing to make it. Right?
Yeah.
Amarim, on the other hand, is like, hey man, I know I'll try to make from whatever, at least whatever little you've read up about sporting and what he did. He seems to be a guy he seems to be a lot more practical. And I
Yeah.
think the reason there were early comparisons to Mourinho to him was also more than playing style, in that he is a lot more pragmatic than any other manager. Whereas Postecoglou seems to be holding on to, I think, in an era where idealism is sort of dying, like that Guardiola, like there's a Guardiola way, or there's a
Yeah.
Kloppite way, or or even a Simeone way, or whatever that might be. I think that's dead now, right? I feel like
Yeah.
that era is over now. It's just about adapting to each game, adapting to each team's style of play, and then can you combine and do a synthesis of these things, which I think Amorim is capable of, or at least
Hmm.
that's the reputation he's coming with. Now,
Hmm.
unfortunately, there's nothing at United. There's like it's even if it was an empty fridge at United, and you have to grow your own shit and work with the players of the academy, that would still he would still be able to make something. But
Yeah.
here he has to work with rotten ingredients, right? And then there's like this at the centerpiece of it all. There's one giant, just like giant rotten jackfruit, which is Rashford, stinking up the whole place,
Yeah.
right? Which I think will hopefully they'll get rid of in Jan, if not in April or May,
Yeah.
right? So I think you have to be a lot. I think Amorim deserves, I think, 1 year, 2 years even,
Yeah.
right? Postecoglou, because like I said, Postecoglou's guy, he's choosing this. The problems are in his face. They're very easily fixable,
Yeah.
right? They're so, I mean, easily as in, at that level, they're easy to fix, right?
Yeah.
And he has the talent to fix it with. Like, it's not, I think people forget that Tottenham is not a small team. Like,
Yeah.
they like, and in fact, this season, right, they should have been the ones capitalizing on everything, because Arsenal have relatively fallen off. City have fallen off a little bit. There is no reason why Liverpool should be even on top, which I don't even think is sustainable. I'm saying, why are you not at least second where Nottingham Forest is,
Hmm.
right? That's why you should be. So I think Postecoglou is doing something very silly in this idea of trying to stick to an ideal or whatever. I think maybe it's a very old school romantic notion that,
Yeah.
hey, I at least stuck to my guts, which I don't know, which I think is a very silly thing to do in the modern world of football.
Yeah.
Whereas Amorim it seems a lot more practical. So I think
Chalo,
that,
touch wood. Hopefully, what you're saying is true, and with the time that he
yeah.
hopefully gets given, it will sort
And
itself out.
United go from a bottom mid table to a mid table team. That's the hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm saying, like Conference League qualification also is great. Like, chalo, like, at least
You
something,
will go
something.
to Bodo Glint and turn up. You're
Yeah.
more than happy.
I mean, honestly, the fucking Chelsea are playing the Conference League right now. They played a game in Kazakhstan in temperatures of minus 17 degrees. Like,
Ah.
you know, fuck it. That's a great away day. If that happens, I'll
Yeah.
see if I can take some time off and go to a place like that and watch United
Well,
get beaten 3-0 by a Kazakh side, which will be interesting.
Chamarchaka FC.
Yeah.
Okay.
United do play Newcastle later tonight. We are of course recording on a Monday night. The game is at 1:30 a.m. So by the time this episode is out, that result will be available for everybody to see. We can't really comment on that. But how do you think that game is going to go, Mookie? Because Newcastle are looking dangerous. Alexander Isak is in the form of his life. Like what Erling Haaland was to Man City in terms of form,
Yeah.
Alexander Isak is replicating that for Newcastle.
Yes. Even three seasons ago when he came, my stock was I was always behind Alexander. In fact, I thought he was excellent. And so glad it is paying off. I wish he was playing at a better team.
I think he
Unfortunately,
will. I think next season he will go to a better team. Whether it is,
I'm saying
uh,
any team that can practically finish in the top six, he can
yeah,
take a team that finishes sixth, he can take them to third. The team that
yeah,
finishes third, he can take them first. So
yeah,
it's got to be, and since Liverpool don't have a reliable striker,
yeah.
so there's I think a Liverpool or a Arsenal or even a United can do, he'll do wonders at a place like that. But my bold prediction is that this game will finish 1-1 with Isaac scoring a goal and a pragmatic approach from Amorim giving him a point.
I mean, I definitely think that that is what is going to happen, and I'll tell you why.
Oh,
And we're going to do that in a new segment that I want to do, and hopefully we'll have a jingle ready in time for this thing to go out tomorrow. This new segment is called "How Did Amogh Fuck Up His FPL This Week?"
How Amogh fucked up his FPL this week.
Or if you want to know the title of the segment in Hindi, कैसे अमोघ ने गू खाया FPL में. So, Mukesh, are you ready to see what my FPL situation has been this week?
yeah. I'm very excited to give you advice on FPL also.
Okay, so coming into this game week, right? Coming into game week 19, coming after Boxing Day fixtures, my front three were I think Jorgen Strand Larsen, Jorgen whatever, Strand Larsen from Wolves, Evan Nilsson from Bournemouth, and I had Johan Wissa. Okay, and I had taken out Saka and I got Luis Diaz. Before Boxing Day, I got Luis Diaz, took out Saka because Saka got injured. Now, last week for Boxing Day, Luis Diaz didn't play, so 0 points there straight up. Evan Nilsson didn't do shit and got taken off at around the 75th or 80th minute. Strand Larsen against Man United did get a goal, but it was given offside. And Matthias Cunha, who I had before, scored a goal and got an assist for the second goal. So that was that. So now for this week, I had one free transfer left, which I used to take Evan Nilsson out and get Isak in. Then I took a -4 and took Strand Larsen out and got Cunha in. Now, what has happened this week? Matthias Cunha has been taken off at 45 minutes, so I didn't even get 60 minutes out of him. Strand Larsen scored a goal, and Evan Nilsson scored a goal.
Amogh, so what are the changes you made for this week? That's what I'm going to put my.
So that's what that is what
Right.
like this current game week that is on. That are the changes. So
What are you going to
Matthias
do
Cunha
next?
has
I know where to
Cunha's got me, I think, 1 or 2 points. Evan Nilsson who I took out. Isak is going to play tonight, but now going with my luck, United will probably lose, but Isak will not score or assist, and he'll get injured in the 3rd minute or something. And it'll be Anthony Gordon, who has a lot more ownership in my mini leagues, who will get goals and assists. Maybe somebody like Fabian Schär will fucking score from a header and get a clean sheet also. So who knows? But yeah, that's how I fucked up. However, I must thank Liverpool because captaining Salah did really well for me,
wow.
and I had Trent and Luis Diaz. So Trent got a goal and a clean sheet, and Luis Diaz got a goal as well. So
And Salah got 2 assists and a goal. Wow.
yeah. So that has the Liverpool contingent, the Liverpool triple up that I have in my FPL has single-handedly kept me in contention for some sort of acceptable showing this game week.
A respectable mid-table finish in
Yeah,
every
yeah,
way too.
yeah, yeah. And that was it for how has Amogh fucked up his FPL this week. Hopefully, and hopefully for listeners, and hopefully not for me, this will be a regular segment that we do. Uh, but let's talk about Liverpool then. 5-0 against Julian Lopetegui's West Ham. This is when this West Ham side under Lopetegui was starting to look good. Like they had a very bad start to the season. They were starting to look decent, and then Liverpool come to town.
Okay, even before this game began, they deserve to be punished for sacking David Moyes. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I have held it against them that they sacked David Moyes, who was on to something so good, right? He needed
Yeah.
time, he needed resources. Again, there is no reason Nottingham Forest is second. That could very well have been a David Moyes with given
Yeah.
the right amount of backing and the right amount of players and the right amount of time, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
grouchy guy might have messed up here or there, might have messed up one season here or there. But West Ham, I feel like the way I'm so angry for what they do, David Moyes, they should be relegated. And if you've noticed, Everton, United, and West Ham, all three, every club that was unfair to David Moyes is now suffering. I
yeah,
was quite happy that they got thrashed, let alone by Liverpool. But had West Ham gotten thrashed by any team, I would have been happy.
yeah,
Because I'm actually, as a football fan, I'm super upset with how they handled David Moyes.
yeah,
I think he took them to places where they should not even have been in their wildest dreams.
yeah,
Right? So to see them suffering was nice. I also feel like, yeah, you're right. There seemed to be a little bit of a bump, and it got completely quashed. I
yeah,
actually thought they were in relegation pits, but okay, they were. I think they're again a respectable 12th, 13th. So they've done. I think when they have won, they've won reasonably well. They've collected 3 points in quite a few times.
yeah,
But I think honestly, to be very fair, I don't think Liverpool played as well as the score reflects. More like they didn't have to play that well. I think West Ham was straight up garbage.
yeah,
Like West Ham was straight up garbage. Like the defense was garbage. I mean, like the only good thing that came out of it was that I know Joe Gomez got injured, but at least I think a few players were taken off. I think 20 minutes earlier, thus preventing any fatigue or injury. But West Ham was straight up garbage. This was not. Liverpool did not play as well as a team beating any Premier League team should have had they won final. Like this
yeah,
was probably a 2-0 performance from Liverpool, but
yeah.
just West Ham's recklessness. I mean, I'm starting like from Paqueta's to right at the end, right? Like
Yeah.
just garbage performance.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool did score 5 goals. It's a 5-0 victory. It's a comprehensive victory. Multiple goal scorers. Great performance from Salah again. Trent getting on the score sheet. But all the talk is still the talk of things happening off the pitch, right? And namely Salah's contract situation, Trent's contract situation as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, did the all-talk celebration after scoring. And Slot was asked about this, and does this mean that Trent is not really interested in going to Real Madrid, because that's the heavy link?
So here's the sequence of events, right? There was a big rumor just the previous night, I mean the night before the game, that said, okay, Trent has officially confirmed that he wants to move to Madrid, correct? Then everyone's like, alright, fucking Trent, how can he do this? What the hell? What's crazy? That's what a rat, right? Right? Then in mid game, whatever, he scores. And he does all talk, don't let it affect you. It's all nonsense. And everyone's like, yes. And then they ask Slot, what do you think? And he's like, the way he celebrates should tell you, what that means. And everyone's like, oh my god, this definitely means he's staying. And I was like, yes.
And he takes out a Real Madrid shirt while getting off.
And then they saw someone pointed out that Jude Bellingham, 1 month before he left Dortmund, he did the exact same celebration. He did the exact same celebration. So now I'm like, fuck, is this guy going to leave in Jan? Forget May. He's going to leave in Jan. So I'm actually more worried now after the celebration than I was before the night before the game when the rumors came. Because then I was like, and then someone else pointed out how just before Enzo Fernandes moved to Chelsea from Benfica, he kissed the badge and he told the fans, "I'm staying here. I'm staying here." Next transfer window gone. 100 million. Oh God. So I think I'm more worried now actually. Uh, so as a Liverpool fan, I'm more stressed.
I love it when things like this happen. Like football fans tend to be so fucking gullible. It is amazing. And I'm not taking digs at any like other fans. I'll start with my own fans, with Man United fans. Anthony, first game against Arsenal, scores on debut, does 8 celebrations, 2 of which involve kissing the badge. Like, arey yaar, why are you doing? Why are you doing all of this? I feel like Anthony scored on his debut, did 8 celebrations to create a backlog of celebration. Matlab, he's banked all the celebrations he should have done over the next 2 seasons.
One man, one goal, 32 celebrations.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an
Perfect,
iconic
perfect.
celebration. He has iconic goal.
Yeah, signature goal, not signature celebration. Uh, but so that is on trend. But even with Mo Salah, like he has said that we are very far from that when
Yeah.
asked about an acceptable contract discussion with Liverpool. Of course, he continued and said that, but I don't want to talk about it to the media. I don't want to focus on that. That's for the club to decide. I have only one thing on my mind, which is winning the Premier League with Liverpool. I was like, बेंचो तूने तो साउथहैम्पटन के बाद मीडिया से जाके खुद से बात किया था कि no, actually I don't know, I'm very disappointed about the contract situation. You only went to the media. Don't now after doing that you can't be like, I don't want to talk to the media about that. That's for the club to decide.
See, but he can get away with it. He has English is not my native language card. But if Trent did it, then
I mean, to be fair, he's playing for Liverpool, जिनके लिए भी English is not their native language. So, I mean, have you seen Curtis Jones talk? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how Joe Gomez understands him on the pitch. So,
No, also, did you see Trent after Salah's goal? He went and hugged and they whispered something into each other's ear. That also scared me. He's like,
yeah,
"Oh, for you Ballon d'Or, for me Real Madrid, fuck this club." Like,
might be like package. Let's do a package deal to Real Madrid.
oh, yeah, that way you get the Ballon d'Or this year. He'll get
Yeah.
the Trent gets the Ballon d'Or next year. Both move to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And even when Liverpool win the season, who really won? We really lost.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was quite, like I said, I think post this match, I'm even more terrified of who might leave when. Right
Yeah.
now, before my aim is sign the contract. Now my aim is please leave in the summer transfer window only. Please,
Yeah.
not in January.
So, before we wrap up the show, I just wanted to do some random pieces of news. And I say random not because one of the world's best athletes is involved in this, but because it is, after all, the Saudi Pro League. Cristiano Ronaldo has been talking a lot. He was interviewed recently where he said that Vinicius Jr. did deserve the Ballon d'Or, really playing into his Real Madrid and Manchester United / anti-Manchester City opinions. But more than that, he defended the Saudi Pro League at that time, and he said, people say that the Saudi Pro League is easy. To them, I say, come here and try. It's not that easy. I would love to see them sprint in temperatures of 38, 40 degrees. It's not easy. You cannot compare it to League One. League One, it's not great. There's only PSG. Nobody else competes. He went on a fucking rant. He also said good things about United. He said that the storm will clear and the sun will shine again under Amorim. So, all that is nice. But now, there has been a response to that, right? After Ronaldo said that League One is terrible, Adil Rami has come back. Adil Rami, a French footballer, former footballer, World Cup winning former footballer, in fact. He has hit back, and he has said that that Cristiano Ronaldo does not realize how good the French top flight is, and hit out at the Saudi league in this fashion. He said, Cristiano, we may love him, but that doesn't mean because he had a fantastic career that as soon as he says something, it is the truth. The guys in Saudi Arabia are overweight. They are overweight. Tu jada hai. Like, that is the level of discourse now in football. Okay? They are overweight. They eat McDonald's every day. come to France overweight and see how long you last. You don't realize the level of League One. Drama, drama, drama.
I mean, okay, which side do you fall on? Do you feel like the Saudi league will be more competitive soon, or will it be on par with a?
The Saudi league, unfortunately, does not have the player power that any of the other leagues have. Like, Europe is a different beast altogether. In Europe, again, the big league is still the Premier League. Everybody wants to play the Premier League, and especially for Indian fans, it's because it's the most broadcasted, it's the most easily
Yeah.
attainable league for fans to watch in India. Right? Like, even watching La Liga or the Bundesliga or even Serie A in India is not as easy as watching the Premier League in
Yeah.
India. That is why the Premier League is the biggest league in Europe. But all the other European leagues also make sense because it's very easy for European players or players who are playing for European teams to transfer to the Premier League. So because fans like to keep in tune with the transfer activities, they know about the European leagues a lot more, and that's not just India, that's globally. Nobody gives a fuck about Saudi Arabia, unfortunately or fortunately. Nobody gives a fuck, right? But they don't have enough players from outside Saudi Arabia who are playing there. You have an aging Cristiano Ronaldo. You have Alexander Mitrovic. You have Neymar, who hasn't kicked a football in a year. Right? Like, he is gone.
Who was, if not for fate, would have played in Pune.
Yeah,
Let's-
exactly. I mean, Navi Mumbai, not Pune. Let's be honest. But yeah, so it's not that, and there is no winner here. Like, League One is not great either. League One is basically Qatar with PSG, and Saudi Arabia is basically Saudi Arabia because they own all the clubs. So it's a fucking this thing. But I love what Adil Rami said. Like, they are fat, they are overweight. Like, this is full playground insult, dude. I haven't said you're fat. You eat McDonald's every day since like third standard, and that's when McDonald's wasn't even in India.
But I would still say he's right. Like,
Wait, who's he?
I would say Ronaldo is right. I would probably not respect League One as much.
I mean, to be fair, he does have a point. Considering we live in India where the temperatures are similar, if not the same, I can tell like how hard it must be, especially for people who have been born and brought up in Europe and know that climate more than anything else. Like, we see foreign players in the ISL also.
Yeah.
They find it very hard to adapt. The conditions are terrible. The weather is not conducive to a game like football. But it is what it is. So let's see how that goes. The war between Cristiano Ronaldo and the rest of the world continues. Right. On that note, it is time to end this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the Corner Flag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
and you can find me on Instagram at Amogh and Mukesh. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Instagram at @CornerFlagPod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@CornerFlagPod. Or get in touch with us on any of these platforms through your likes, shares, subscribes, comments. Also, subscribe and follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you just like listening to us and not watching us, that's also fine. And while you're there, give us a 5-star review because that really helps the show. Shout out to Kezad Gharda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.